flag salute. Tom, would you lead us tonight, please, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you should take us through roll call. Attorney Adams for Ryan texted me and said he should be here at 5:10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tammy, will you take us through roll call, please?
Yes, those present are Mayor Shaw, council members Amy Baker, Arnbrister, Kemp, and Maureen Baker, staff present, myself, Tammy Justice, Jill Cameron, Sarah Perry, Adam Lyons. Councilmember Roth is going to be arriving about 10 minutes late, and also in attendance tonight is Ron Kemp's grandsons, Flat Lucas. Great grandson. And Lucas lives where?
In Wapaketa, Ohio.
Okay, and this is a school project for Lucas, and so Flat Lucas gets to attend tonight's council meeting, so.
Thank you. Look for approval of agenda, please, council.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed 4-0. Look for approval of consent agenda, please.
I move to approve the consent agenda items, which include March 24, 2026 claim vouchers, 8964 for 8971, and 3 EFTs in the amount of $11,415.03, certified and approved on March 24, 2026. March 2026 treasurer's report and payroll in the amount of $43,211.39, certified and approved on April 2nd, 2026. April 14, 2026 claim vouchers 8979 for 9,002 and 2 EFTs in the amount of $119,376.75. Vouchers have been audited and verified by the auditor.
Also, should we add in there the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah, did I forget to put those in there?
Yeah, and the meeting minutes from the March.
March 10th.
Okay.
And also to include the March 10th.
Thank you, Ron. I didn't realize I forgot those.
There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, council. Sam is decided not to show up, so he's not on the agenda tonight. So we'll move on to public comment. And we have TJ is going to be our speaker from Thurston County Conservative District.
Thank you. Yes, TJ Johnson. I'm the chair of the Board of Supervisors at the Thurston Conservation District. And as mentioned previously, my fellow board member Doug Rushton and our community outreach specialist Amy Richardson here tonight. For over 75 years, Thurston Conservation District has been working with private landowners to identify solutions to environmental concerns and encouraging and supporting voluntary stewardship that makes Thurston County a better place to live for all of us. We're non-regulatory, and we bring funding, technical expertise, political advocacy, and community trust to help local jurisdictions meet their community visions and goals. Our base funding is provided through a rates and charges system paid by almost all the property owners in Thurston counties. That rates and charges system brings in about $565,000 a year. And we use that to leverage a lot of other local, private, state, and federal money. So this year, the money raised through essentially taxes in Thurston County is only 6% of our $9.7 million budget. The other 94% comes from outside of the county to help us solve our problems here. This is the largest budget in our history, and these funds are going to make a big impact and a positive contribution to regional conservation and environmental priorities. Now, last year we worked with our partners, our residents, local jurisdictions, and others to develop a new strategic plan for the Conservation District, which we call 2040 and beyond. And we'll hand you out an overview of that plan here afterwards, along with our most recent annual report from 2024. 2025 was still printers. This new plan is the most ambitious plan in the history of our organization. But it kind of has to be because of the urgency of some of the problems we're facing, such as rapidly disappearing farmland, forests, and habitats, threatened and degraded watersheds in our marine ecosystems, and what we know and we see every day, the accelerating impacts of climate change on our farms and in our forest lands. So this plan is really about acting now to prevent irreversible loss. So the plan is grounded in 4 basic priorities. 1, protect and restore natural resources. 2, prepare for disasters and build climate resilience. 3, expand access and community connections for land and for food. And 4, leading all of these efforts with a commitment to organizational excellence at our organization. One of the things that makes us unique is we're committed to showing very tangible results to the community. And we measure our things very specifically. So for example, we look at the number of acres we've protected and restored. We looked at the number of people who are actively engaged in stewardship in the community. We look at the dollars that we're able to bring into the community, which I mentioned earlier. And creating really accountable programs. We're an open book. Anybody can come to our meetings. Anybody can look at our books. We do a state audit every 2 years, so you know where the money goes. And we've never had an audit finding in the almost 8 years that I've been at the district. So going forward here, we have a lot of work to do to continue to make this a great place to live. And we would love to work closer with the city of Rainier on some specific things. For example, aligning land use and conservation strategies so they work together, co-developing watershed solutions where we have problems with our streams and creeks, preserving farmland and expanding local food production capacity, expanding our community education and outreach programs, and leveraging as much funding as we can from outside sources to do all of this work.
You're over your 3 minutes.
Okay,
so
if
try
I
to
could just close right now,
wrap it up,
that's where I'm
please.
at. So what I'm saying here is this isn't just about conservation programs, it's about building a future where conservation is a shared way of life in Thurston County. We're excited to do this, we're excited to lead it, and we need our partners to work with us, and we're hoping that the city of Rainier is one of those partners, and we can work closer than we have in the past. And with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And we'll leave these with
That's
you.
great. Thank you. You can see them right here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
today.
you.
And there's a website we'll use, so if you need more information, contact information, that's there too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to staff reports. Adam, you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, so probably put the chip seal, the roadway treatment project out to bid within a month, and that's just rolling along. Farron and I were just out looking at some repairs on Rochester Street. We have to do as part of the project before the chip seal will be done on Rochester, and as well as crack sealing. We're looking at the drainage issues over on at the intersection of Center Street and Binghamton. We were also probably spent an hour before that catching up about the water system, DOH's comments, county's comments. We've worked through most of them, but they are making some requests that things look a certain way with the data, because we just don't have valid source data. Farron has done an outstanding job, especially over the past year, trying to get things up to standard in the system, including replacing the source meters, which he's done, so we won't have these problems going forward, but we just don't have good production data
if not next meeting, the next. There's a public comment period. I'll work with Tammy on, she'll notify the public, it'll be accessible to you guys, the public, and then you'll vote on a resolution to approve it, and I'll talk over some of the finer points with you about the water system. So that's what I have for now.
Thank you, Adam. Any questions for Adam? Darren?
All right, Public Works has been busy finishing the installation of the radio read meters that council and the mayor approved. Have just about all of them in the ground now, which is amazing. That's gonna save us money, time, a lot of horsepower. We did some right-of-way repairs along Binghampton, across from the Shell station and across from the church where the trucks parked, got that leveled out. We had a sinkhole in one of the meter boxes next to Turner's. People have been driving over it and it eroded the parking lot and created a fairly large sinkhole over there, so we were able to shore that up, concrete that in, put a new meter box, new meter in there, get that all fixed up. Paul's been mowing quite a bit, so we're getting all the power equipment tuned up and ready for mowing season. We had some issues with LeMay not wanting to drive down the alleys because of the potholes, which kind of ironic that their garbage trucks are the ones that make the potholes, and now they refuse to drive down them, so we did some grading and some patchwork on the alleyways to make it so that the garbage trucks won't refuse to drive down there. Spoke with LeMay and we're all good to go on that now. Did some grading on the roadway over on Olympia Street. And then, like Adam said, we've been working on the water system plan. And one of the requests of Department of Health is we need to get well 6 up and running. So we had a pump company come out and explore that. The start panel, the pump and the motor are all shot, need to be replaced, so we're working on getting bids for that right now. They believe they're all the original equipment that was installed back in the 90s, so we're working on getting some estimates for that. And in and amongst all of that, I did some studying and took my professional operator's exam and passed, and now am certified with the Water Professionals International as a professional water operator. Any questions?
Any questions for Sam? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Maureen?
I attended TRPC on Friday the 3rd. The thing they kind of focused on this time was they're wanting to hire the target zero manager, and that's to help me, kind of to help with the fatalities and serious injuries that are happening in Thurston County. So they're putting a kind of a committee together and work on that.
Thank you. Any questions for Maureen? Thank you. Ron?
I attended meeting last month and meeting this month for Transportation Policy Board, and nothing really new to report, just more normal business for them.
Thank you. Any questions for Ron? Thanks, Ron. Tom?
Our emergency management checks went really well this week, or this month, and they have gone really well every month. We are coming up with a plan to be able to supply food to people during emergency situations, to the food shelters and the senior center and the high school and that type of stuff. So we're working on that plan. And I've had a ton of complaints about the gazebo from a lot of the citizens who hang out at the park, and from we Santa Claus stuff there under the gazebo. And it just fits kind of perfectly for the weather and that type of stuff, that time of year. And so I've had a lot of complaints, and I don't know where we're going with it, but I'd like to see that the city's going to go ahead and replace it with a new one. And, I don't know if we have to, what we have to do that, but I'd like to see that be a way we can get everybody excited about it again. And, so I told the dozen and 2 dozen, 3 dozen people that have tackled me on it that I was gonna bring it up today. And, hopefully I would have an answer for them by the end of the week. So, I'd like to see the city go ahead.
I have that is something on my topic as we get to it, so we'll circle back around that, Tom.
Okay, perfect.
Anything else?
No, I'm good with that.
Thank you. Any questions for Tom? Ryan?
Nothing new?
That's easy.
Yeah.
Any questions for Ryan? Thanks, Ryan. Amy?
I attended the study meeting on March 20th. Much easier because this one was in Yelm, so I went in person. One of the major guest speakers there was from Habitat for Humanity. I picked up a couple flyers for you guys to take a peek at, and they kind of went over their recent fundraising and the new property that's being built in Yelm. So that was really interesting to hear. And other than that, I did have a question for council on whether or not we'd be okay if I wanted to pick up where Dennis left off with the Arts Commission. I know it was typically his seat, but I don't think it was tied to the seat. I think he just liked it. Don't know what that looks like yet. I've done a little bit of research, but I didn't want to get too deep into it before I knew whether or not we were agreeable to it, and what it would look like and whether or not I can take off with it. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Amy? You go first, because then I'm going to circle back to everything else. Yeah. Bill, do you have anything besides what's on the agenda for you?
Well, that would be enough, but the zoning convention is next week, and so by the next meeting, I should have a list of all the things that the legislature's done to us in that session. I've got a partial list of the Department of Commerce, and it looks awful, but such is life.
Okay, thanks, Bill. You got anything?
I only have a couple things. I don't know if you were gonna discuss at our SRO.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have all that in the, yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow I'm attending interviews for the new SRO at 9 o'clock at the school district. As far as my treasurer duties, I have, I'm getting help from Vision Software on how to reconcile our bonds. So we have some investment bonds, and I'm getting help from them on reconciling them. So this reconciliation directory form may look different to you. I'm not sure if you scrutinize it, but if you notice there's changes on it, that's why, because we're kind of shifting money to be reconciled the correct way where it hadn't been previously. So feel free to ask me any questions if you have questions about that. I'm not sure. At this point, I'm kind of halfway between being done, so I don't, I'd be happy to answer any questions if I can, and if not, I'll put you in touch with Vision, who's helping me. So other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Couple things. Well, so Tammy brought up the SRO. I'm going to jump down to the Thurston County contract renewal. If you notice, that's an action item tonight. it's time, we told you in the off-season, budget season, that we'd be on a new 3-year cycle with Thurston County Sheriff. The good news, I don't know if anybody has noticed on there, you notice there's no car. Sheriff Sanders and I have worked out an agreement that there will not be a purchase of a car in this 3-year contract. So the only change is the 1% increase that we pay per year. And, you know, that's a kudos to the sheriff and to our 5 county commissioners who approved it here a couple weeks ago. So I also, with that said, Tammy mentioned that we lost our SRO here, resigned a week ago. And she'll be interviewing for a new SRO, but nothing's changed in the contract. It'll still be paid for by our $20,000 and the $20,000 the school will pay for the SRO. So I guess that is a motion item that I would hope that we can get a motion to approve the 3-year contract, and I will sign that and let the sheriff know tonight that he can pick it up.
I make a motion that we approve the 3-year contract with the sheriff's department.
Second.
There's a motion, a second, to approve the 3-year contract for the sheriff department. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. And
They've been doing a really good job.
it's good. Derek's doing a good job, and you know, you've probably been following in the news that it really looks like Tenino is going to be hiring them, and that could happen as soon as tonight, because Tenino has their meeting. But our contract is in place, and it represents exactly what we started back in 2000 and before 2019. Back in 2014, I think.
Yeah.
It's been considerably the 1% increase. So good. Project you'll see from a past retreat. Sprinkler systems are ready to go up at Public Works soon, right, Darren? Okay, so that should have been in your vouchers that you looked at and approved. But the sprinkler system that we talked about, and we finally decided to get it done. And they're doing correct me, besides the sprinkler system, they got to put something else in that's helping the whole compound up there, right?
They're gonna put a booster pump in.
They're putting a booster pump in.
And then we're gonna run some electrical cable out there for some automatic gates, and we're gonna run some electric wire out there to light the flagpole. And the booster pump will boost up the pressure there, which there's fairly low pressure at that juncture there, so that's what that's for.
So you'll see Yard Pros up there. Theron's got the trench dug out for them. So hopefully when the weather breaks, that'll get done, and that'll wipe off another one of our things from a previous retreat, council retreat. The other thing with the sheriff, and I can't remember where I've left on this. So you know we were getting a grant money from the tribe that all this jurisdictions went in to try to get for flock cameras. Okay? Well, that, because of the City of Olympia and the commissioners are not supportive of the flock cameras for the sheriff department. So our next hope was that ourselves, Tenino and Bakota, could jump on with Yelm, because Yelm has their own police service and they have their own flock cameras, and we all wanted to still get our flock cameras for our city, and reached out to Yelm to see if they could tie it into their police department. Their police department said they think it's too hard to do that. So basically ourselves and Tenino and Lakota are out the flock cameras. If you remember right, we were going to get 3 flock cameras. That was going to be anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000, because our grant that we got with the tribe was for 1 year. So what city staff, Aaron and I and Tammy, I don't want to lose that money, so I've talked with the sheriff about, are us 3 cities going to get our allocated money that would have been part of the grant? We would like to use that money to buy our own speedometer trailer signs. And I thought that I'd get to look like that out of all of you, so I have my phone here because I'm waiting for Derek to text me. I said I would like some information. He was supposed to be trying to find a company that he thought we could get him through, and he thought we could at least get 1, maybe 2 trailers. I've talked to city staff here. Aaron had them while he was in Roy, and he suggests that we actually get the trailer mounted ones that we can just pull the trailer out and put it, that those are better than the take one, take it off the trailer, and put it in place. So I will get back to you more, but that's kind of what we thought we'd do. And so I saw the head bob that most of you were fine with that. So if we can get $4,000 to $6,000 from Thurston County, our part of the grant money, then that's what we'd like to use them for. And then Aaron would be able to keep them under cover now that we got the facility up there locked in, and we'll use that. Okay? I think I should. Can I finish up here?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was that, and that was that, that was that. Okay, the other thing I said we'd circle back to. So Public Works took down the gazebo at Holiday Park here a week ago. It was about to fall over. It was an issue with our insurance company, and it was going to, if you haven't ever been over there, it wasn't very safe in the first place. It kind of wobbled a little bit.
Yeah, we were able to, before we took it down, we were able to go in and wobble it back and forth.
And I think there's been a couple occasions of maybe kids over there playing, trying to tip it over from what I've heard. Anyway, we took it down. There's been some feedback. Obviously, Tom has been approached. I do just want to set the record straight that some of the complaints that we've heard in staff dealt with, there were some Christmas lights on the gazebo. And I'm going to be very supportive of my staff. Okay? Taking that gazebo down, it's on city property, and it's a city building. And in no way I think that anybody should be pointing the thumb at Public Works for not taking down Christmas lights that should not have been up there, because Christmas has been done for 5 weeks. So if you hear any, 5 months, if you hear any complaints, I really would hope that you would support our Public Works like Tammy and I have been doing. But the reason it came down was what I just told you. And I don't know what you're hearing, Tom, but the biggest thing we've heard is when you took our Christmas lights down, why didn't we take them off? I don't think it's our responsibility when somebody put Christmas lights up there on their own and can't take them back down. So, okay, that's kind of where the gazebo has come from. Now, I guess that'll lead into, Tom, you mentioned that you think, I think I've thought about this because I've had some people approach me. I think that the council, and this is me, my feeling is, I think we need to decide if we're going to rebuild something, it's not going to be done by Public Works. I talked to Bill about that, and he says putting a structure in a park like that should be something that is planned on. That one was never planned on. It's been there for years. And so I think that's the first thing, is it's something that you as a council will have to decide if you want to do. It's not going to be something Public Works is going to build on their own. So it may be something, we talked about at the next retreat. The other thing I hope you guys would all think about a little bit is the gazebo at the holiday park the ideal place to put it? It only basically, this is a big function for this city. It gets used at the holiday Christmas tree lighting. But basically, that's the only time that gazebo, as far as city staff is aware, has been used. Okay. I know that past retreats, we've talked a lot about putting a stage at Wachowski Park. I'm not saying a stage and a gazebo is the same thing, but I think there can be a lot more dialogue that we need to think about rather than just, we're going to put a gazebo back up that gets used one time. And, you know, I don't know, maybe Christmas Santa Claus moves to Wachowski Park. No, I don't know how that would be, but it's a lot better parking. Tammy and I were talking the other day. We've been real fortunate at our Christmas lighting that it hasn't been a night that there's a basketball game. Because if they ever do it on a night that there's a basketball game, the parking's not going to be very good. I mean, it's just something I think we need to be open to other options. And what does a gazebo look like? Does it mean that we maybe make a bigger structure and do some of the things we talked about at council retreats about Wachowski Park? Or, I just think that some of the things in our city right now get a lot more use. Tammy's Playground Park. Is it worth putting a shelter there? Because basically a gazebo is a small shelter. Okay? I think you all notice when you drive down 507, Tammy's Park gets a lot of use. Wachowski Park, the new parking lot down there, the new bathrooms down there, they're getting all kinds of use down there. So, that's my 2 cents. I don't make all the decisions, but I can just give you some things that I've been talking about, and staff has been included here the last couple of days for us to think about. So, I guess, Tom, I will turn it back to you if you have something more you want to bring up about the gazebo on your end.
It's up to council, however, whichever way we want to go on this. I just think it was a great situation to be able to gather down at Holiday Park, for Christmas. And, we used to do Easter down there, and we used to do some other stuff, but that's about the only thing we do now. But it would be nice if, we had some kind of shelter down there where people could go and sit and relax and enjoy the little park and our town. That's just my thoughts. So whichever way, council wants to go, I just want to be able to have an answer for, if we want to do it at Gillespie Park, fine, But I just want to be able to have an answer for people who keep asking me about it.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate how you brought it to council tonight. I hope people would realize that I don't know if you'll be able to give them an answer. That's pretty short-handed when you're talking with other council members right now. I mean, I'm interested to hear what others have to say, but I think it may be something that you're not going to get an answer tonight. And I think it's a little frustrating that people think that you 5 council members should make a decision because some building came down, and then they expect you to make a decision 10 days after it came down. But that's me supporting the 5 of you. So, any other feedback? I know, Amy, I know you've heard through Tammy that you had at least 1 or 2 people contact you.
Yeah.
You got any
I've
feedback?
gotten a little feedback. Like I told Tammy earlier, I I understand that there was some sentimental meaning to some of the members of the community. I feel bad that they feel like this was a thing that was done without reason. I think we all know that it's just about had lived its whole life. As meaningful as it is and as sentimental as it was, it was getting up there, and I can see the safety concerns as well. I think you're right, though. I mean, you mentioned Easter. We don't do Easter out there anymore because we've gotten so big that it's not as useful as it could have been. I know that we previously, the last Christmas event I was involved with, there was some space issues and things like that, and it's very possible this is our opportunity to create something that's going to give us more space, more parking, more people involved, right? Because we are bigger than we were 30 years ago when it was built. So I think ultimately, we can't change how it was taken down or that it wasn't communicated first. Not to say that we have to communicate everything, but keep the peace. I'm okay with, personally, with not replacing it and using the money that it would cost to replace it into something that's going to be more useful and more used more. Does that make sense? That's the only thing I have to say. And yes, I did get some feedback. It wasn't all nice, but it's fine.
Well, that's why I want to make it clear, it was a city building on a piece of city property, and the city made the decision to take it down, and I think the record just needs to be straight, that because people in the community think that they had the right to tell us we couldn't take it down, that's not right. That's not.
Yeah. Well, especially when it comes to like a safety issue.
Yeah. It's no different than it's private property and it's city property. So, Ryan, you got any update? Have you heard anything? Any feedback on this?
No.
Okay. Anything you want to say?
No,
I'm going to go around the table. I always do.
I agree. I think we have a lot of action happening over there. We focus on there. I think to Tom's point, just putting like a bench there, if anything, but I don't think it needs to be a huge little thing or another gazebo,
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Ron?
I agree with Amy on everything. I think that if we do anything, it needs to be a Wachowski Park, because Christmas is outgrown holiday park too, I think. You can count Wachowski, or we did have a Christmas party there probably about 5-6 years ago, and it worked out just as well. And it's a bigger area, so I like the idea of moving the Christmas down there anyway. And that, and maybe just like in the future, consideration using the building official on a building like that, having her dinner. Basically, they're going out, looked at it, the rock, condemned. You have to take it down. That would maybe just, in hindsight, a way that just says, you didn't make the decision, the building made the decision.
Okay. Good point. Very good point. So think about it. Okay. Maureen? Oh, go ahead.
And I do think we need to bring this up at our retreat this year and make some resolutions on where we go, unless somebody wants to form a committee and come up with ideas before then.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. Maureen?
No, I think if we do bring it up at our retreat, it gives everybody time to think about it, maybe get some ideas of what would work. I remember last Christmas, they tried to bring that coffee trailer thing in, which was butted up right against that gazebo. And it was a mess. I mean, so I think we have outgrown that one. I mean, I think moving forward, we should probably try to use that. And like you said, this way maybe if we need some kind of structure, it doesn't
Okay, well, I think, Tom, does that give you answers that I think, I would say that it will definitely be on the council retreat. Cammie and I will put it on our list right after the meeting tonight. It'll be one of our first topics, and I think in the meantime, you all had some good ideas there. And I'm coming back to for 3 retreats, we've talked about a stage. And I don't know what you guys want to think about, but put some thought into that this summer about what we could do down at Wachowski. We already got cover down there, so maybe we add something else that can do. But anyway, I appreciate all of your feedback on that and sharing your information.
Do you know, do we have something in our budget to cover that?
We have money in the parks fund.
Okay. I mean, just to maybe, by the time the retreat comes up, maybe give us an idea of budget-wise, like maybe how much money we're looking at, so we're not going hog wild and,
Right.
so.
And we always at retreats kind of where you guys give us some ideas and we try to fit it in the budget.
See if
And,
we can find
you
a
know,
number.
we've done a lot the last 6-7 years, and I think we're kind of running out of, I mean, that's been on the list, has been something down there that we just haven't finished yet. So, Public Works is pretty much all cleaned up and done after we get the sprinklers in and he gets the new gate in. City Hall's all, I think Tammy's happy, everything's in here that you guys have allocated over years, the parking lots. I mean, we're getting caught up on a lot of things that we have done. Okay, thank you. Great discussion, council. I appreciate that. Okay, those were all my topics. Did I miss one?
No.
You came in late. Did you, Cammie just gave me a list. Were you wanting to be on public comment?
Yes, please.
Okay, council, do you mind if we let somebody add? Okay, you'll have to introduce yourself. You've got 3 minutes to, in public comment. And
Sure, may I share these handouts real quick?
Yeah.
Start with this.
Maybe if you could just sign this one, that would be great. Your name and your subject matter.
Oh,
Thank you. It just goes in the file.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
You don't get, I'm sorry.
Right there's great.
Tammy's got a bunch.
Can you like oh yeah, so it's like Amy got one already.
Just gonna read it through.
you said the mayor?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, we're up.
No, that's okay. Please
You're up.
Pardon me for being late. My name is Tana Moorhead. I'm with the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. We're here in the Washington area, covering many counties from the floods or the storms that happened December 2025. So I know that was a bit ago. But we actually got the declaration just this last February. FEMA just declared and approved 10 counties just recently this week, later last week, all over the weekend. But anyways, with our program, we offer a low-interest disaster loan to help survivors, homeowners, renters, and small businesses to repair, replace any damaged property from the disaster. Our program allows individuals to submit applications at our centers that we may have set up, or they may can do it online. These are low-interest loans. They are available. First year is 0% interest. Yes, first year is 0% interest, and payments are zero for the first 12 months as well. My ask, and I just handed you all handouts with details of just a snapshot of the disaster loan. My ask is that you share this with your community if it's possible to put this information on your website or social media
channels, that would be helpful. If you know of any events that I can speak at and maybe share this with the audience, that would also be helpful. We have a mobile recovery vehicle, which we call an MRV. It's actually, Washington is the first pilot for it, but we can actually go to rural areas too, where there are survivors who may not be able to get to the centers. So we want to serve everyone who needs it. And I've been working Thurston County. This is my first time this way, and so traveling down that winding road, getting here was a bit. So, but that would be my ask. And if you have any questions, my card is attached. If you know anyone personally, they can give me a call and I can help them with walking them through the information. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, well, I'm very flexible. We bounce around the agenda tonight. Thank you. And now we'll move back on schedule to number 9, ordinance 742, model traffic ordinance update. Bill, you want to address that at all? Any questions for Bill?
Any questions? We talked about this last time, and naturally you all thoroughly read the memo that I sent out, up to speed on that. This is something that's just been sitting around in our code book that needed updating for years. The only thing is the one section on basically recreational vehicles in general. We had amended that a couple, 3 years ago because we were worried about vagrants camping on our right of way, and we really didn't have anything to cover it, and we changed it. And that winds up actually affecting people who probably should be able to legitimately park their recreational vehicles in front of their house as long as it doesn't interfere with traffic. It's not turned up on 2nd Avenue. Now that's completely at your discretion. If you don't want to change that, you want to leave it the way it is, that's fine too. Somebody just needs to make an amendment. But otherwise, this just brings things up to date. There's really not any change. It's all now part of the normal traffic ordinance, so the sheriff will enforce it. Under our agreement, they don't really enforce any local ordinances. They just enforce state law and county ordinances, and so now it's state law. So, any questions? I'm happy to answer them, if I can.
Okay, it is an action
I
item.
move to adopt ordinance 742, the update the model traffic ordinance.
A motion and a second to pass ordinance 742. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Council.
Yeah, I did.
Any opposed?
What's that?
Just for good measure.
I thought one of you made a motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah, that was on.
Yes, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Amy, you gotta be quicker.
I know.
A motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? No further discussion. The meeting, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting officially adjourned 5:49 p.m.